Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, greetings and thank you all for joining this significant meeting today on this planetary recovery and prosperity. And so that together the V20 could endorse and lend its full weight behind our new vision and updated work plan. This first ever Climate Vulnerable Finance Summit represents a significant landmark on the road to COP26 and the international response to this climate crisis as we fight the COVID-19. At the request of the Honorable V20 Chair and on behalf of our CVF presidency, I have indeed the honor to return with you to the decision of today's ministerial, as it has been earlier presented, and also to conclude this August event. It is clear that we have heard from all the V20 representatives who wish to express themselves today. In addition, a great many most distinguished observers and partners. A vote of thanks to our partners. We could not accomplish our aspirations without your support. And we have certainly heard much support for the V20 work as reported and placed before this ministerial through the industrious effort of the V20 senior officials. As we are in the unique virtual format because of the pandemic, I shall therefore move directly to the adoption of our decision and communique. Having heard no objection by the responsibility vested in me today, I do hereby declare this V20 ministerial dialogue decision adopted. Excellencies, now allow me to thereby highlight the key contents of the V20 communique. We respect to the challenges highlighted, the point of no return. This forum already called for midnight survival deadline at 31st of December 2020, and the international community has failed to significantly answer the call. We are no longer approaching the point of no return, as a serious redoubling of efforts is needed to prevent exceeding the 1.5 degree limit from the Paris Agreement before 2030. Time is too short, so we are already at the point of no return of our survival. Hundreds of millions of vulnerable people are continuously suffering from a climate-induced market failure, only compounded by COVID-19. The second one, we lack a finance environment for the challenges we face. The well-discussed 100 billion delivery has so far fallen well short. Also, V20 has ineffective financing from multilateral development banks and partners for its ambitions so far. On climate resilience and renewable energy also, the existing financial mechanism must be reviewed and reformed to address the challenges we face. We are penalized by a lack of systemic addressing of risks, and we are overlooked for crisis support when climate change has already penalized our credit prospects. We need to keep working on improving access and speed of delivery with existing financing mechanisms like the GCF and others. With respect to our vision, we will recall from the earlier report of the V20 senior officials for today, the contents of the V20 landmark, new 2025 vision, which we just adopted. With respect to the way forward, climate prosperity plan, this is number one. We have launched our new program, starting with the Mujib Climate Prosperity Plan of Bangladesh. With the development and implementation of these strategic economic climate SDG investment and cooperation framework by so many of our members, we aim to advance and accelerate V20 ambitions for resilience and prosperity across our economics. And I echo the call of Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, the Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh, and the CVF chair, in addition to His Excellency, the V20 chair, who have urged V20 partners to work with us for the development and implementation of our climate prosperity plan. This is an important new economic cooperation opportunity. So we will pursue our key initiatives. The key initiatives, number one is the V20 Climate Prosperity Recovery Agenda for a fairer and systematic treatment of climate risk by international financing institutions like IMF, and for improved access to special financial crisis assistance. Second one is the accelerated financing mechanism to significantly accelerate deployment of guarantee to overcome cost of capital, these capital hurdles to adaptation and renewable energy projects. And three is sustainable insurance facility that is leveraging premium support to rapidly expand financial protection for climate disaster for the most exposed. And number four, the V20 work plan, covering a range of engagement with the G20, such as Issue Resilience, the G7, our new CVF and V20 fund, and other programs. In terms of our expectation from the international community, we demanded a delivery plan of how 500 billion of UN agreed financial assistance from the developed countries for developing countries will materialize in a 5-year period from 2020 to 2024. We committed to reinforce especially South-South cooperation among our members and with other economics. Number three is robust carbon market, a key deliverable of COP26 to unlock new economic cooperation, and we expect at least 5% proceeds from the forthcoming Paris Agreement mechanism to finance adaptation efforts of the most vulnerable. In terms of loss and damage, the imperative of financing for our unavoidable losses and damages. The V20 Climate Prosperity Recovery Agenda for a fit-for-purpose Bretton Woods system capable of averting the worst of this global market failure of the climate crisis, including through systematic surveillance of climate risk and expanded access to crisis support from the IMF and other global financial institutions. In terms of debt support, flexibility, debt forgiveness, and debt for climate swaps to enable climate action, especially among our fiscally constrained member economics. And in terms of cost of capital support, we encourage and support for our accelerated financing mechanism to unlock private sector potential. And finally, in terms of financial projection, we encourage support for our sustainable insurance facility. We call for premium subsidy support to help us close the enormous financial protection gap. Finally, in terms of the next step, as was earlier mentioned, it is foreseen that V20 reconvene in April 2022 for the 8th Ministerial Dialogue, with hopes that G20 and V20 may also meet together again the next time to further deepen our cooperations. Likewise, V20 will be reaching out to the G7 now on The Bangladesh presidency is working with all members of the CVF on preparing a Dhaka Glasgow declaration to be adopted at the high-level meeting of COP26 in Glasgow. The finance perspective from the V20 will certainly help inform this process, and we also thank you for helping us to build positive momentum on the road of COP26. Finance is absolutely critical to the success of the Glasgow conference. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to proceed to the closing of this event, V20 Ministerial Dialogue. By way of a final remark, may I add that in the Bangladesh presidency, our firm belief is that the sooner the shortcomings of international economic and financial cooperation on climate change is corrected, the faster the mutual benefits of more effective global collaborative emergence to the advantage of all human beings on Earth. The V20 encourages partners, especially G7, G20, and international financial institutions to support our climate resilience recovery for sustainable prosperity initiatives. The international community and the financial institutions have a remit to do their utmost to stand by those of us on the climate front line. We look forward to a successful Glasgow COP with the Dhaka Glasgow Declaration and joint delivery plan of 2020 to 2024. We likewise look forward to working with you all between now and when we will reconvene at our next ministerial meeting in April 2022. Our thanks to the Secretariat, the Global Center on Adaptation, for their organizational and other supports for the summit and ministerial dialogue. Our appreciation also to the interpreters. Our kind words for the Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the head of the government, head of the states, and honorable ministers. Thank you for your kind support for convening this summit. Once more, I thank you all, and I hereby call this meeting closed. Thank you all.